Bringing you the latest news from around the world, and here at home, I'm Sandro Ferdinando.
And I'm Mahina Bongzo. Welcome to Primetime News live on News First. We start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Lalit Veeratunga and Anusha Palpita sentenced to 3 years rigorous imprisonment in silk-cloth verdict. Criminal Investigations Department record statement from Arjun Aloysius over bond transactions. Heavy rains forecast until Tuesday next week as atmospheric disturbance develops in Bay of Bengal. Inland Revenue Bill passed in Parliament.
Taking a look at those stories in detail now. Former Secretary to the President Lalit Veeratunga and former Director General of the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission Anusha Palpita were sentenced to 3 years of rigorous imprisonment by the Colombo High Court today. The duo were convicted in the case pertaining to the distribution of silk cloth using public funds during campaigning for the concluded presidential election.
The Attorney General's office had filed indictments against Lalit Veeratunga and Anusha Palpita, citing that a sum of 600 million rupees allocated for the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission was used to distribute silk cloth among voters during the presidential election campaign. High Court Judge Gihan Kulutunga found the pair guilty on all 3 counts filed by the Attorney General. In addition to the 3-year prison sentence, the defendants were ordered to pay a fine of 2 million rupees each and 50 million rupees each as compensation for the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission. The judge also ordered that in the event the defendants failed to pay the fine and compensation, they would serve a further 3 years in prison. High Court Judge Kulutunga delivered the judgment over a period spanning more than an hour. Following the sentencing, Lalit Veeratunga and Anusha Palpita were escorted to the Valikara prison.
Arjun Aloysius of the Perpetual Group arrived at the Presidential Commission today to give a statement to the detectives assisting the Commission. News First, Zulfiq Farzan reports on Bondgate.
Yesterday, the Commission issued notice on Arjun Aloysius to provide a statement to the Commission. However, he did not appear. In addition, when previously deleted phone calls from the Perpetual Treasuries Limited phone call recording system were played at the Commission, it came to light that Arjun Aloysius had inside confidential and price-sensitive information ahead of Treasury bond deals. Arjun Aloysius from the Perpetual Group arrived at the Presidential Commission this morning in order to provide a statement to the officers of the Criminal Investigations Department who are assisting the Presidential Commission in their investigations. Now, Arjun Aloysius came here at 8:30 this morning. Yesterday, notice was issued on Aloysius to appear before the Commission. However, he was nowhere to be found at his residence or at his workplace yesterday, and thereby yesterday the Commission instructed his attorneys to inform Aloysius that he must appear before the Commission to provide a statement. Officers from the Criminal Investigations Department who are assisting the Presidential Commission recorded a statement from Aloysius for more than 8 hours. President's Counsel Nihal Fernando officially informed the Presidential Commission that after the recording of evidence of PTL CEO Kasun Palisena, he will no longer appear for PTL. The Presidential Commission issued an order to provide security to the chief dealer at PTL, Nuan Salgado, and senior IT executive at PTL, Sachit Devatantri, under the Assistance to and Protection of Victims of Crime and Witnesses Act. Thereby, following a threat assessment, the Witness Protection Division of Police would provide them with security. During the cross-examination today, Nuan Salgado said on the 12th of August 2016, Kasun Palisena called him over the phone and requested him to collect Palisena's statement to cope from Arjun Aloysius. It was revealed at the telephone conversations played at the Commission that Arjun Aloysius received Palisena's cope statement from the son of Rosi Senanaika. The evidence examination revealed that when this phone call was made, Rosi Senanaika was not a member of COPE or Parliament. The cross-examination by Mahindran's lawyers also pointed out that some of the inside information that Aloysius received were not accurate. However, the Attorney General's department stated if PTL was following advice, it could not have been bad advice. Today, Kasun Palisena, the CEO of Perpetual Treasuries, was cross-examined on government securities dealings PTL had with Perpetual Capital Holdings and WM Mendes and Company Limited. As Palisena was making a lengthy explanation, the Commission warned him not to utter gibberish and stated the scenes he explains are more than those experienced in a teledrama. The Presidential Commission said it needs to know how the payments had taken place for these securities transactions.
Several civil and political organizations had a great deal to say on the revelations which came to light at the Commission of Inquiry. We first hear from Chamira Pereira, convener of the Centre-Left Party.
Several key points have come to light regarding the bond scam. Yesterday, we heard the conversations involving Arjuna Mahindran and Arjuna Aloysius of Perpetual Treasuries. We say that this information proves that these incidents do not involve just one person. It shows that there is a vast network behind this. There are many more names to be revealed. The investigation must be expedited. Legal action must be initiated against those responsible. We also demand that the audit bill be presented in Parliament immediately. A strong audit mechanism is required in order to recover the public property that has been stolen by these individuals. While the corrupt people involved in the bond scam are being revealed one by one, day by day, even the lawyers are lying and the privileges and benefits that were given by the fraudsters are being exposed. These individuals must be brought before court and the law must move forward. They must be brought before the Presidential Commission. It has also come to light now that the children of UN peers who were in the previous COPE committee are involved in this. As anti-corruption organizations, we challenge the government to file cases regarding the complaints which we have filed with the FCID. These investigations have been completed and the files are with the Attorney General's department. There are many individuals including Mahinda Rajapaksa who are being protected and who should be imprisoned. They cannot be allowed to remain at large.
Former MP and current Deputy Chief of Staff at the Prime Minister's office, Rosie Senanayake, has stated that at no point during her membership of the Committee on Public Enterprises in Parliament did she illegally divulge any information to any party.
Issuing a statement this evening, Senanayake noted that while her son's name had been mentioned by an individual before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry on bond issuances, no views were expressed affirming his statement. In her statement, Senanayake claims that the conversation in question took place in 2016, adding that she was not a member of Parliament at the time. Rosie Senanayake states that she rejects the allegations levelled at her and her son.
We now go to the newsroom where Shahin Jurampati takes a look at the weather situation that has not only gripped the US but also Sri Lanka.
Well, thank you very much, Sandharu. Good evening and welcome to the News First Weather Center. I'm Shahin Jurampati. With Hurricane Harvey leaving a trail of destruction in Houston, Texas just a week ago, and Hurricane Irma making landfall in the Caribbean and moving towards Florida, United States, heavy rain in Sri Lanka has left several parts of the country flooded. The Met Department says that these heavy downpours are expected over several parts of the country during the next few days. Here's a report with what to expect over the next few days.
There
is a small disturbance in the Bay of Bengal. However, the nature of this disturbance is something we can't really predict at this stage. The atmospheric disturbance and the magnitude to which this could expand is difficult to predict at this moment. Though the nature of the disturbance is changing in terms of its impact, the weather patterns will eventually change. Intermittent showers or thunder showers can be expected over the western, Sabragamua, southern and central parts of the country. The northwestern and eastern parts of the country may receive thunder showers. Western and southern provinces will receive mild to heavy showers. Showers may exceed 150 millimeters. If you look at the weather that prevails in the coastal areas, showers or thunder showers could be expected in areas along the coast from Puttalam to Colombo via Potuville. Winds will flow from the eastern parts of the country and could reach up to 60 or 70 kilometers per hour. Therefore, we request the public to keep an eye on the forecasts issued by the Met Department.
Ratnapura, for instance, is a district that would flood in record time. The area is submerged at present to a small degree. With the current situation, we can't really say that the flood levels will be massive, but this could be the case if it rains continuously in the coming days, especially if there are showers from evening today till midnight. Then we can say that the prevalent floods in Ratnapura will continue.
This is the manner in which some parts of the country remain flooded. The highest rainfall of 224 millimeters over the past 24 hours was reported from the Ahaliagoda area in Ratnapura. Ratna received a rainfall of 222 millimeters. Now, the Ratnapura district has been worst affected by the inclement weather conditions affecting the island. The Disaster Management Centre has called on residents of Ahaliagoda who are in high-risk zones to evacuate to safer locations. 150 millimeters of rainfall recorded in the area has led to the evacuation announcement. Vehicular congestion was also reported in the Allavala area along the Ahaliagoda-Idamgoda road due to the road being inundated. According to our correspondent in the area, around 20 families have been evacuated due to the threat of landslides on the Arambada mountain. A further 20 families were evacuated in the Talapitiya area due to the threat of landslides.
අපේ රජෙන් දන්නලා තියෙනවා වහින වෙලාවලට ආරක්ෂා තැන් වලට වෙලා ඉන්න මේ කන්ද තව පුපුරලා තියෙනවා. අඩි 20ක් විතර දුරට අඩියක් විතර පල්ලයට පුපුරලා තියෙනවා. අපි කූඩාරම් වල ඉන්නවා. දැනට පවුල් 20ක් විතර වගේ ඉන්නේ කූඩාරම් වල අපිට හරිම බයයි.
A number of low-lying lands in the Ratnapura district have been inundated due to the inclement weather. Our correspondent also noted that the roads leading to Goralla, Toppanawa and Eknaligoda from Kuruvita have also been inundated. Around 40 houses in the area have been affected by the flooding. Several roads in the Karangoda and Jimiawa area in Ratnapura have also been inundated. The Disaster Management Unit of the District Secretariat notes that residents living on the banks of the Kaluganga have also been advised to evacuate due to the threat of the river overflowing its banks.
The areas of Ayagama, Alapatha, Madagama, Kiriyalla, Ahaliagoda, Kalawana and Kuruvita in the Ratnapura district have been affected by the heavy rains. Landslide warnings have been issued by the NBRO and the Gramaniladari officers and are working to evacuate families in those areas. Residents of Alapatha have been relocated to camps. Some of these people have gone to their relatives' houses.
Due to the inclement weather conditions, a decision was reached by the Zonal Education Secretary to close down schools in the Ayagama, Kuruvita, Alapatha, Ahaliagoda and Ratnapura Divisional Secretariat areas tomorrow.
Well, heavy rains are still being experienced in a number of districts in the country, including Colombo and Kalutara.
Flooding was reported in the Millenia area in Horana due to the prevalent inclement weather. This was the situation of a number of low-lying areas in the Dodangoda and Agalawata areas in the Kalutara district. Vehicular congestion was reported in Batramulla due to flooding along the Polduva road. Our correspondents also reported that a number of by-roads in Colombo were flooded. The Sri Siddhartha College in Sedawata Kolonnava was inundated due to heavy rainfall. Flooding was also reported in the Miriswata area along the Gampaha Colombo main road. Fishermen in Balapitiya refrained from setting out to sea today due to rough seas. A number of areas including Miriswata and Samagivata in Gaul were inundated due to the Morogoda river overflowing. Heavy rains are also being reported from Nora Elia and Hatton. The Road Development Authority has also called on motorists using the expressways to exercise caution due to the inclement weather. Officials advise motorists to travel below a speed of 60 km per hour. We have already deployed 15 amphibious troop carriers to the affected areas. 5 each have been deployed to Ratnapura, Gaul and Kalutara. We have prepared boats in the areas which are at risk of flooding. We have taken steps to create an emergency operations centre which consists of officers from the Irrigation Department, Med Department, the NBRO and the DMC. Early warnings have been issued by the Med Department. We are on alert 24/7 and we are ready to face any situation that arises.
Well, that is all we have for now from the News First Weather Centre. News First will of course keep following on the developments on how the weather will persist in Sri Lanka and report to you on how it will develop over the course of the next few days. I'm Shanjaram Pal reporting from the News First Weather Centre. It's back to the main news studio.
President Maithripala Sirisena announced a campaign that would improve Sri Lanka's food production and which will commence next month with the declaration of a National Farmers' Week from the 5th to the 11th of October. The President expressed these views at the ceremony to mark the construction of the Kanduruwela Agronomic Centre this morning.
The Agricultural Economic Centre is being built at a cost of 5.2 billion rupees with financial assistance from the Chinese government. The new centre will comprise of a main commercial complex and an agricultural complex with facilities including stalls, play areas for children, cafeterias, banking facilities and sanitary facilities. Following the ceremonial laying of the foundation stone for the new centre, President Sirisena also planted a sapling on the grounds. We will declare a National Farmers' Week from the 5th to the 11th of October, and with the onset of the rains, we will commence the battle to increase food production. Due to the lack of rain last year, there was a shortfall in food production. We are hoping to cover this shortfall and restore food production in the country. We are also hoping to generate a surplus which we can then export. With the onset of rains, we will commence a battle for food production with all stakeholders, including the public sector, private sector, MPs and ministers, all provincial councils, the business community and the farmers. The President also donated 3 school buses purchased with funds from the Presidential Fund following a request from students in the Dimbulagala and Hinguragada education zones in Polonnaruwa. Dignitaries including Chinese Ambassador Xi Jianliang were present at the occasion.
The new Inland Revenue Bill was adopted in Parliament today.
90 MPs voted in favour of the bill while 25 voted against. Speaking during the debate, Minister of Finance and Mass Media Mangala Samravira spoke on the key points.
The
top 20% of the wealthiest people in this country control 52.9% of the total household income. The poorest 20% only have 4.5% share of total income. Even when planning local strategies, we must look at international best practices and apply the positive measures taken by other nations. That is how this bill has been drafted. Even if the IMF gives us a good proposal, I see no wrong whatsoever in adopting that proposal. All individuals with a monthly income of less than 100,000 rupees will be exempt from income tax. The income on interest of senior citizens has been made tax exempt up to 125,000 rupees. Instead of the common 28% tax for business organizations, this has been reduced by 50% to 14% for small and medium-scale enterprises and businesses in various sectors. The tax base has also been broadened, targeting high-income earners. Tax exemptions have also been limited in many instances. The capital gains tax has also been introduced, and all of these measures will allow higher tax collection from high-income earners and promote more capital investment. In order to discourage tax evasion, we are also hoping to amend the outdated fines. A tax of 40% has also been introduced for tobacco, alcohol and gaming. Proposals including the amended pay-as-you-earn tax will come into effect on the 30th of October, while the Act will come into effect in full force on the 1st of April 2018.
The Minister of Finance stated in Parliament today that the 2018 budget will be presented on the 9th of November. Moving on, heated exchanges took place when the much-debated proposed 20th Amendment to the Constitution was rejected by the Northern Provincial Council today.
The proposed bill on the 20th Amendment to the Constitution was tabled this morning when the Northern Provincial Council convened under the auspices of Chief Minister C.V. Vigneswaran. A motion was passed in the Council today to reconsider the proposed 20th Amendment if the bill is presented again with amendments. The Eastern Provincial Council also convened today under the auspices of Chairman Chandrasena Galapathy. While the question of the ratification of the proposed 20th Amendment was included in the agenda for today, following its postponement at the last sitting, tensions flared when the matter was taken up for debate.
We have attended 3 sittings in order to debate this bill. Once again today nothing is being said about it and they are trying to adopt it. Chairman, will you not reach a decision on this? You are not a party leader, you must ask a party leader. Mr. Chairman, you must explain this. As councillors, it is our right to know. It is marked second in the agenda. Where is the justice? I am not prepared to function based on your approval. Please sit down. I have been informed regarding the amendment. I am the one who decides whether it will be considered or not.
The chairman declared as amendments have been proposed to the bill on the 20th amendment to the Constitution, the matter would be taken up on the 11th of this month.
The 71st anniversary of the Indonesian Independence Day was commemorated in Colombo yesterday. Diplomatic ties between Indonesia and Sri Lanka have been in place since 1952.
Relation between Indonesia and Sri Lanka has begun even since before Sri Lanka and Indonesia existed as nation-state. Both nations has already strongly connected through trade routes. That connectivity has brought common cultural heritage and historical bonds. Indonesia is proof that Islam, democracy, modernity and women empowerment can be established in harmony. We uphold our motto, unity in diversity. At the regional level, Indonesia and Sri Lanka have cooperation in playing important roles and contributing positively toward the maintenance of regional peace and stability.
Indonesia provides excellent leadership to both IORA and the Bali Democracy Forum. In multilateral fora, both countries have stood in solidarity with each other in managing our shared challenges at difficult times in history. Tourism sector is becoming a key economic driver of the Sri Lankan economy. In my view, tourism in Sri Lanka would be an attractive sector for Indonesian investors. As an Indian Ocean countries, emerging shared challenges, both traditional and non-traditional, provide great opportunities to work closely with each other to overcome them. Therefore, our cooperation should be further strengthened to new areas.
The Salvation Army has launched its annual appeal to raise funds to resource its residential community and community services across the country. The initiative is based on the theme, "You can create a better tomorrow."
In its commitment to fight kidney disease, the Salvation Army is building water wells for communities in the Polonnaruwa district, and its mobile clinic is screening communities for early detection of kidney disease. The initiatives are being conducted in partnership with local communities and health officials in the area. Speaking at the launch, chairperson of the Salvation Army's National Advisory Board, Iraj Vijay Singh, said the Salvation Army is not only looking to continue its existing services, but to extend these services. Also speaking at the event, Chief Secretary of the Salvation Army in Sri Lanka, Lieutenant Colonel Suresh Pawar, said the intention through the initiative is to create a better tomorrow for Sri Lankans.
An event was held to commemorate the Defence Day of Pakistan organized by the High Commission of Pakistan in Sri Lanka yesterday.
Attending the occasion were the State Minister of Defence, Ruwan Wijewardena, and the senior military personnel from the region.
Every Pakistani.
Pakistan is a nation-state in which military is seen as the savior of the nation. The institution that shoulders the responsibility of protecting Pakistan's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The people of Pakistan too have much reverence for the military from the very inception of the Pakistan Army. In this context, I wish to congratulate the Pakistani people and Pakistani armed forces on behalf of the people of Sri Lanka and members of our armed forces on the 52nd National Defence Day of Pakistan. Age-old ties of deep affection and respect exist between our two countries and are strengthened by the bonds of friendship shared by the people of our two nations. Throughout history, our two nations have stood by each other in difficult times, resulting in the creation of a relationship based on the pillars of respect, trust and friendship.
And we commemorate it in the way of remembering those who fell for the country and those who are fighting for the country. Innumerable sacrifices has taken place. So this is a very important day for us.
Senior Superintendent of Police Shani Abesekara has been appointed as the Director of the Criminal Investigations Department. Chairman of the National Police Commission, P.H. Manathunga, said SSP Abesekara's appointment would come into effect immediately. One of the most experienced detectives in Sri Lanka, Abesekara was instrumental in successfully investigating many serious crimes in the recent past.
The Central Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and its parliamentary group met with President Maithripala Sirisena last night. The discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat centered on the party anniversary and the future elections. 7 MPs have spoken to the President and expressed that they do not intend to work with the government. We have expressed our concerns relating to the government. No, we are still the same. We won't change. We have from the start expressed that we will remain with the President and his policies. All we ask of the President is to change the government. No, it's not about stepping down. The 8 MPs include Susil Premajayantha, Anura Priyadarshana Yapa, and also Susantha Punchnilame, Nima Lansa, and Dulip Wijayasekara. No. If we decide to leave and become an opposition one day, we will eventually be working with entire opposition. All of them you mentioned expressed that if they all agree unanimously, then they will agree to work together in order to strengthen the party. Minister Mahinda Amarweera convened a media briefing at the SLFP headquarters today. That is the truth. He knows who the chairman of the SLFP is. Sri Lanka's record with the tossers this tour has been dismal. Could the toss at the last night's match have affected the eventual result?
Should the match referee have stopped the announcer and rectified the mistake? Should the announcer have verified the call with the referee and the captains? The International Cricket Council is yet to make a statement on the controversy.
And with that, wrap up Primetime News. Thank you for joining with us. I'm Sandro Ferdinando.
And I'm Mahina Bongzo. Good night.